All right, this next video is going to be on part 1B. And that last video on part 1A turned out to be about 11 minutes. So maybe I underestimated when I said these will be 2 or 3 minutes. But anyway, they'll be sufficient enough in length to get the information that you need, and hopefully you can learn it. That's the key point of this. So let me share my screen. Part 1B, and you can see the other 2 videos are here. Part 1B, create a layer based on vacant parcels, filter your, create a layer based on a vacant parcels filter for your city, and create a map with the title and legend of the vacant parcels as a layer above the land use layer. Okay, let's do that. So, back to urban footprint. We are going to go into, let's go back to, not the 3D mode, the regular non-satellite. We'll go ahead and put north arrow back to the north. And in order to figure out where the vacant parcels are, you have to go into your base canvas, and you're going to see in here under this category of land use, one of the categories is vacant parcels. Okay. And so in order to get that data, to isolate that data, we need to filter for it. And so you can see there's style, build, filter, edit. Eventually we're going to hit, most of these. Source shows where the data comes from. You can, read about where their data comes from. Each layer, has information about the source of the data. In this case, this particular base canvas has lots of data, so there's a bunch of different data sources. But to filter out vacant parcels, we're going to add a filter. We're going to use land use summary category 3, and we're going to simply go to vacant and click on vacant, and there's 1,353 lots in West Palm Beach that have vacant lots. And it's going to ask us what we want to save it as. So we're going to save this it's going to download it as its own layer. So we're going to save this as vacant parcels. Okay. And just go ahead and click OK. You're going to see it pop up over here as vacant parcels. So now if I click on vacant parcels to turn it on, I noticed something over here changed, but I couldn't really see what it was. So let me zoom in a little bit and turn it off. Turn it back on. I can't really see what's going on. So why don't we go ahead and turn off the base canvas? And I see a bunch of boxes. I don't really need that. I don't really need the project area or the context area on. So I'm going to turn those off. So let's turn it off. And sure enough, that layer includes those gray polygons. Well, that doesn't, it's kind of hard for me to see that, because I want, I might want to make a map, and I may even want to incorporate that on here. And you can see here, they show up highlighted. But if you go to print it out, they're not going to look highlighted, trust me. The reason they're highlighted is because I have this filter selected. So if I get rid of that filter, then that highlight goes away, right? So what do I do? Okay, well, first of all, I told you, I think earlier, that just like GIS, you want to be concerned about each of these layers. So maybe I'll put my land use, I could drag it up to the top. And so now my vacant parcels layer is above my base canvas layer. So if I turn that on and turn that off, still really can't see them very well. So what if I want to maybe make them all black so they're easier to see? Okay, well, I can click on it. And I can go to this edit symbology under the style. And under the edit symbology, I can click on a stroke, maybe give that a black pen instead of a gray pen. So now I could see them outlined a little bit better here in black. But I could also click on the classes over here, or I can click on the custom ramp, right? In this case, I don't want a ramp because I don't want a gradation of colors. I want them all to be the same color. So I click on this and I just simply choose the color I want. I could pick any color I want. In this case, I just pick black. And then all of a sudden, it turned to black. But they don't really look black to me. It kind of looks like a charcoal. And the reason for that is because the opacity was automatically set to 70%. So if I want it really black, I got to boost that up to 100%. There you go. Now it's black. So now I go ahead and save that. And maybe I zoom out now. And go ahead and click on my base canvas here and my vacant parcels. And I could choose, like maybe I want just to make a map with the vacant parcels and nothing else, right? That's kind of a neat map. What if I have a satellite background? Oh, now that's kind of hard to see, right? Well, what if I do a faded satellite? That's a little bit nicer. I can see the satellite imagery, but I can see which parcels are vacant. I can zoom in if I want. And so I can close this out because I already got my symbology set. And I could zoom out a little bit and you can kind of see where the different vacant parcels are around the city. Now, what if I do want to look at the land uses? Well, I got, let's just move the base canvas up above it just to illustrate an example. I'm going to show my land uses. Well, I can't see the vacant parcels because my base canvas layer is above it. So I'm going to go back, move the vacant parcels back up. So now the vacant parcels pop up on top of that layer. So they're the top layer. I feel like these base canvas colors are too bright, too much. And so I can go to my base canvas, go ahead and click on style, and I can actually reduce the opacity of that maybe down to 30%. And I think that looks kind of nice. Maybe I go down, let's see what 20% looks like. Yeah, that's kind of cool. I could see the residential, I could see single family attached, I can see some of the commercial uses. I think I'm going to go back up to 30% so that it's a little bit brighter, but not too bad. I like that. I'm going to keep that. I'm going to close this panel. I'm going to go ahead and export a map. And in this case, I'm going to go back and I'm going to make it a landscape map. I don't necessarily want to see the legend here. So I'm going to just go ahead and do that. I'm going to change the title here to just say, vacant parcels. And I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of that. So there's no legend there. And I'll go ahead and it says maps at this resolution with a satellite-based map are currently not supported. So then I got to reduce the resolution to 144. 144 in this day and age sounds kind of low, but they actually export pretty decent. So I'm going to export that. And then when that's done exporting, I'll go through the same process that I did earlier where I open it up, I copy it, and I bring it into my PowerPoint and I'll, insert it into that file. So that way, whether it might be my final project document or just, make it easy to submit, because I want one document submitted with all your maps, not, 10, 12 different documents all submitted. So we'll stop there. I believe I covered everything in this, what you were supposed to do for this. Let me double check. Create a layer based on vacant parcels for your city, filter that, create a map with a title legend. So there we go. We're all set.